Hi everyone, Master Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week live on Facebook. So we all are finding ourselves in some unusual situations right now, and many of us are homebound based on the social distancing regulations and stay-at-home orders as we go through this coronavirus. And it got me thinking that, you know, when we're confined to our homes, our residences, and we're not able to do the regular things that we do in life, the propensity and the possibility of becoming bored just might show its face. In fact, some of you might be sitting watching this going, man, I'm not into my regular lifestyle right now and I'm just kind of bored sitting at home. So it got me thinking about this whole idea of boredom and how it can impact us in less than a positive way as we're moving through life and as we're moving through leadership. And so it got me thinking about this quote that I heard from one of my favorite authors, James Clare, and he said, "The threat to success is not failure, it's boredom." Let me say that again. The threat to success is not failure, it's boredom. And it got me thinking about all the students that I've taught throughout the years. In fact, there's probably tens of thousands of students that I've taught in the martial arts. And in that time, I have over 1,000 students that have made it to black belt and beyond. But what's really interesting is when I think about the students and what their initial level of skill was, I can think of only 2 students that when they came to me, they had all the skills necessary, I thought, to become a black belt. They were strong, they were focused, they were balanced, they were confident, they were flexible, all those things. But only 2 of them made it to black belt. Now, that's not to say that I haven't had other students come that were great athletes that started. But here's what I found, is that most of them that came to me that had great athletic skill from the very beginning, many of them never made it to black belt. And it wasn't because of the challenge or the lack of skill. It was quite the opposite. It was boredom. It was boredom. Now, what's really interesting, another one of my favorite authors is George Leonard. Now, George Leonard is a Aikido black belt master, and he wrote a book called Mastery. And what he says in the book Mastery is that the road to mastery is filled with plateaus. And basically what he says is this, is we have an up level in skill, but then we stay at a plateau for a long period of time generally, and then we'll actually have a dip in our performance, and then what we'll do is we'll pop back up and we'll have a breakthrough in terms of our skill level, but then we'll plateau again. And so our road to growing and our road to breakthrough is not a direct line, but it's one filled with plateaus and a dip and then a little bit of an increase, then a plateau and a dip and then another increase. And so people who achieve mastery and real success in their lives know how to navigate the plateaus. I can't tell you how many parents that were enrolling their child in my martial art program when I had my school said, "Oh my gosh, I almost got my black belt and then I quit." They probably weren't ready for the plateaus. So what can we do? What can we do in our lives and in our leadership to really make sure that we're able to navigate properly through the plateaus and the boredom so we can get to where we want to be? Well, I've got 3 suggestions for us. And the first one is this. Is number 1 is on your road to where you want to go, fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the process. I mean, many of us in our society, we're so focused on the end result that that's all we can see. But then when it gets boring or challenging along the way, we'll stop. But if you're in love with the process, if you can get really centered about what it's like to do the movement or do the learning or do the reading, whatever, and get really present with it, what you'll start to see are many little changes and little victories that you'll have along the way. And so you're not doing it just for the end result, you're doing it for the love of the process and what you're getting from that experience. Number 2 is that you need to know your why. Why are you doing it? What is the importance for you going through this journey? You know, particularly, let's say someone who wants to release some weight. Now, if they want to release weight just so that they look good, you know, that's okay. But what if they were releasing their weight because they knew that they needed to improve their health so they could be around when their kids got older and they wanted to see their grandchildren or their child get married? That's a compelling why. So when you're getting bored and there's monotony in terms of following an exercise regimen or a diet that you want, but you're really clear about your why, it can help you break through that boredom. And number three is pre-commit to a plan. have a plan for when boredom comes in and does impact you. And so what does that mean? So like if you're committed to, let's say after a long day's work, you're going to go out and walk, have your first activity as soon as you get home is not sit down at the kitchen table or not sit down in front of the television, but you commit to putting on your workout gear and your shoes and stepping outside. Because as soon as you take that action, you're outside, you're going to start to move. But you've pre-committed to that plan. You've pre-committed to deal with the monotony and the boredom. Because once you take that first step, then the rest of them are easy. So my friends, hopefully this was beneficial for you, particularly in this unusual time where we might be dealing with boredom in our everyday lives, or we've got something that we really want to achieve in our life, but it's starting to get difficult because we've hit a plateau. Those are the things that we can do to get beyond them. Because I'm here to tell you, my friends, there's a master, genius, something inside of you that's looking to express, but the way that you get through it is by consistent action. So, this has been Master Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching. Thanks so much for continuously sharing these, commenting on these blogs. I absolutely love sharing them with you. And we will see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.